Hey, welcome back. We're still just having some fun.
We've gone down the Reddit rabbit hole.
Yeah, we're in trouble. Now we are about this whole new Reddit section of this is not how girls work.
Yeah, not how girls work, which I felt comfortable with asking in. We'll see how good our anatomy of the opposite sex is on some of these, but
especially because we're 3 in and our tolerance has gone down to like 1.
Oh yeah, no, this is gonna get lit. But full disclosure, kind of a warning. This first one we're starting with, we wanted to talk about, but it's not really funny.
It's not, but I think we'll definitely do another episode on this further down the road.
Yeah.
But this is a good entry point, and it is. It's titled IDEK. What the fuck's the IDEK?
I don't know.
Isn't that supposed to be like I don't know what to say?
Yeah.
Why do you need an E? I'm already confused, and I'm like, this is supposed to be a serious one. Okay, anyways, it was a little picture of this place of healthcare. Women in coma gives birth, and now police want DNA from male workers at healthcare facility. And the comment is, this is reported by CNN, by the way, but there's an actual source. It says so in the picture. CNN sent 3 minutes ago. So the first comment, the one comment underneath there is, it says, "I don't think DNA tests should be done. Let's receive it as a miracle, like we had the Virgin Mary's birth. Or is man too intelligent to ever believe in something so extraordinary that new life somehow produced itself while this woman was in a coma? Perhaps she had a dream of having a sexual encounter with her husband that her body thought it was real enough to produce a pregnancy."
Easy, I didn't read down that part. Oh my god,
That's just... Okay, first off, if you're in a coma, you're not getting pregnant.
No.
The only way you're getting pregnant is
someone sticking
someone stuck
it. Yeah.
The Immaculate Conception is a story.
Yeah, not just that, but if you actually look at some of the statistics of like sexual assault at nursing homes, things like that, it's far more likely that somebody. Yeah. Oh my.
No, the whole thing about the DNA test, I think it should be done.
100%. Someone needs to be held accountable.
Yeah, and I believe in DNA tests for whenever the child is given birth, regardless if it's faithful or not. And the reason being is I'm going to use our poster child, my good old brother Dave. This motherfucker.
He's doing better despite everything.
Yeah, he's in the angry phase, and he is on the verge of snapping his berries and telling her just get the fuck out. And so he found out that he thought what it was his child was his. It is actually not.
It actually came home. You are not the father.
Yes, thank you, Mari. And the biggest thing was he has a really good idea who the father is, and he's about 90% sure it is his uncle.
Oh wow,
yeah. Well, that's a different definition of keeping it in the family. Good thing he's adopted.
I was about to ask that. Yeah, I did. Oh,
sorry about that. I didn't mean to play footsie with you.
Socks are on.
Well, that's true. You do got your boots on. But I do like a little rough around the edges.
We are gone. We are gone.
Anyways, back to the serious point is that he's adopted. So he sent me the picture of the DNA test, which was and 0%. And those DNA tests, they're like over 99% accurate. It's just like birth control. 99.9999999. We're German now. 999999. But yeah, no, it's just it's last few weeks been really rough for him. I know I didn't really help him too much. I helped him, but I was just chastising the hell out of him.
Well,
but it was the truth.
He stays in ruts where will just take abuse.
Oh yeah, and he comes with these dream scenarios, which I understand. I come up with the same dream scenarios as this could work out, and that as a man comes with the problem solving abilities we have. When we're trying to figure out what is the best way to solve these problems in front of us, either they might not be the most beneficial to us.
Well, and I think too, a lot of men, they really crave that nuclear family, but they might not be emotionally healthy enough to actually sustain it.
Yeah.
And there comes in with that kind of dichotomy.
And that's the other thing I told him too was even though it's not his, I was like, man, you got a decision to make about this stuff. But it appears he made his decision, and I think he's going to come out the other side a lot better. I think he's going to move for a while. That's my theory after this divorce is settled and whatnot. And I already told him, I was like, dude, my door's open. Come up here, transfer. His job to transfer their positions up here.
Work on yourself.
Come up here, work with me. Just come up here, stay at my house for 6 months. Don't worry about. I'll take care of everything because I already pay all the bills here. Save up for 6 months if you want to stay up around here. You can get a place nearby. Come hang out on our podcast with us. Hang out. I'll show you all this good male stuff. I'll teach you how to really it's not necessarily being a farmhand. I think the farming has taught me how to be more of a man than being in the city.
Farming is one of those things you have to do it a certain way, and you just got to work at it. And the one thing I like, even though I'm not comfortable with it, you can't control it. You can till the field. It teaches
you tenacity, I think it is. And tenacity to keep pushing forward because you have to make it work.
And if you're a control freak, realize that you can't control this. You can plant seeds, you can water this thing, you can do everything right, and locusts can come and eat the son of a bitch.
Yeah. Before you know, you don't even have a crop. But I know this is supposed to be another fun episode, but it is something on the more serious side. I want to show them, like, farming has taught me so much more. And I'm not even that... Really, technically, if you want to use farming as a definition, I'm not a farmer. I have a little garden and I got 200 acres. Eventually, my goal is to get that field outside of my house completely full. Half of it being corn, but again, we said in our other episodes, baby steps.
That's the big thing. Not only was Rome not built in a day, but you got to get comfortable doing the little things to do the big things. And I got a big problem with this myself, and I see what I think is going to be the next step, and it's 4 or 5 steps ahead, and instead of focusing on the next step to get there, I get hyper-focused on the one that's way out.
Yeah, and you know, something that he did ask me, too, about it, he's like, because I was just talking to him yesterday, I was like, man, I don't know how you live on a farm, you're always working, you're always doing something, I just want to relax. And I was like, I get wanting to relax, I'm like, I want to do the same thing, but I'm like, that's what my Sundays are for. I try to get all this shit done. You know what? On Sundays, 9 times out of 10, I don't do a goddamn thing.
Well, not just that, but there's kind of a misconception. During harvest season, you're working 14 to 18 hours a day. But for 3 months out of the year, you're doing the bare minimum, just keeping the fields clear.
Like, my one big thing, he's like, in the winter, you're always out there trying to cut wood and get stuff to keep your house warm. I was like, yeah, that's just part of me. That's part of life.
Well, and 2, you can make anything a game. That's like you and me when we got to chop wood. Once again, grab a couple of beers, maybe take out the whiskey, chop a tree down, process it, start seeing who can fight the log fly the farthest.
Yeah, and like, I think he's never really had a country life, but I think a country life gives you a really good backbone. But when I was raised, I had half city, half country. I got best of both worlds. I saw what it was like to hustle, but I also saw this is how you bust your ass.
For me, because same way, I realized there was 2 big ways to make money in Oklahoma. You either became like an engineer and became a demo guy and something like that, structural engineering, or you worked the oil fields. I realized I'm not built for the oil fields. All my cousins that did that, they were 220 and ripped, and my little 140-pound ass, I'm sitting there going, I think God gave me a brain for a reason.
Exactly. And but that's one thing I really hope he decides to come up here and move in with me for a little
while. I would just like him to be around people that don't take advantage of him and actually want him to do things for himself.
I think he would do great between me, you, and then my buddy Jesse. I know you haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but again, he's working on his grind. He's working 6 days a week, taking care of his shit. I mean, he's working 5, 6 in the morning till 6, 7 at night to be able to take care of his stuff. But again, that goes to being on your grind and taking care of what you need to take care of, learning what you need to learn. Because he has all his things for mechanics, but he's nowhere near being a master mechanic. So that's his big thing. He's like, I want to get to that level. How do I get to that level as fast as possible?
Here's another one that I think is going to be funny, and I think is going to go deeper than what we think. And the comment or the post was, why do men start podcasts instead of going to therapy? which we feel personally attacked. I go to therapy, and
I'm so triggered. I'm triggered.
And then this guy who really thinks he owned this girl, the same reason females start an OnlyFans instead of getting a job.
You would have been better off saying therapy in the very end of that.
Yeah.
You know what? That's the thing with the OnlyFans. What do people do? They a lot of females claim that, oh, I'm a female, I'm independent, I make my own money. I understand that mindset, but at the same time, it labels you as a slut. It labels you as a person not to be with, because you're going to be fucking every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Here's my thing with this. Because I got a hot take, because I listen to a lot of women and left-leaning people sometimes, because I want to see both sides of the argument. And they're kind of right on this. Men don't have a problem with porn stars who get taken advantage of by like Brazzers or the company where they don't have control. But the minute a woman monetizes her sexuality for herself, they have a problem with that. Which is kind of true because like Belle Delphine never actually went fully nude, made insane amounts of money, and then got out of the game, invested her money, and now she's living.
Yeah, like I can understand maybe some of that, but my big thing is a lot of them do go all the way down to that rabbit hole of doing the full news, every X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And then I hate to say it, then they turn around and say, oh, why can't I find a decent man? Well, maybe because men don't want that? Is that so shocking? But their response is, well, men are paying for it, but that's the difference. They're paying for what you're providing. If they want to be in a relationship with you, they don't want that.
I gotta tell you right now, if Belle Delphine came to me, which I know never gonna happen, I look like a bridge troll, but, hit me up anyway, because I don't care how you got your money. You seem good with it, and you know what? I'm personally gold digging. I'm trying to break that stereotype. Any rich heiresses that want a passion project, hit me up. I feel like we built so much momentum, and this is why we shouldn't... Like a Miller Lite's going to be the death of us all.
It is.
I hope that you're enjoying this, everybody. We're enjoying doing it. I think we're still within the realm of what we normally do.
Well, yeah, I think we are, because we're definitely talking about a lot of what we believe and what we think into it and what our opinions are. Because not our opinions are not factual things.
No, and I like the fact that we don't always have to agree, you and me, and we can...
Yeah, because I don't agree with the OnlyFans, because I think, for me, I call that as a red flag. I think a lot of them they may come off as stable, but I don't think there are a lot of stable people who do OnlyFans. And I believe it's under a false information of saying, I am an independent woman, hear me roar.
Well, I think it comes down to, I don't think anybody goes into sex work necessarily because they want to. I'm sure there's the exception to that. It's kind of like prostitution is called the oldest vocation for a reason.
Yeah.
For women, sometimes that really is all they can get, and that's not necessarily a good judge, because even my great-grandfather, when men would call women of the night whores and things like that, he's like, well, why don't you marry them and make an honest woman out of them? Some of these women, their husbands died, and that was all they could get at the time.
Yeah. But here's the other thing, because you're taking more of an old-school thought on it. The newer school is just a lot more this is how female independence is. It's independence of sexuality, especially with today's day, and I think a lot of it's bullshit.
I can't really weigh in one way or another, because
I'm not going to hate on you for having game and like going and doing that, but if you're going to end up looking for a relationship or a husband or having kids down the road or whatever it may be, that's going to be for a lot of men who are actually looking for a good woman, quote unquote. To them, that they're going to most likely walk away from that. And then, of course, though, it comes from being a good man as well.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say, because I agree with you. It's weird to me how empowerment starts with sexuality, but I've been told there's a reason for this. I haven't looked too deeply, so I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth. Because we'll go through, because I'm not going to speak on things.
Speaking of what we're talking about, I'm going to give you this one. What is it? Not How Girls Work. Literally, no woman submits to her boss or looks at her employer that way. And the little caption thing is, feminists taught women that it's good to submit to their boss and be his helper, but bad for women to do these things for her husband. It's good to have strangers raise their children, but bad for their own mothers to raise them. It's torn down marriages and harmed children.
I have never known any feminists tended to be like, worship your boss. That's...
Yeah, no. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, that one's weird.
I'm sorry.
Because I do know feminist people that still want to raise their kids.
Yeah, exactly. And my thing is, well, that's what I hate about a lot of feminists is they saying, oh, you got to submit to the man. No, you're not submitting to the man. You're going in a partnership. And granted, yeah, she's a woman, but just because you're a woman doesn't make you a fucking feminist. And you don't have to fucking, oh, I'm this independent woman bullshit. You can be an independent woman and still be with your husband and still be, what's the word I'm looking for? Committed to your husband.
Not just that, I think the difference too is, like you say, if you're in a partnership where you talked about this and you assume a traditionally, and I'm air quoting here, feminine role in this relationship by choice, that's still feminist in that you were able to make that choice.
You're empowered to own that shit.
Right.
And owning what you want to own. And that's empowerment, I think, at its basis, is taking what you do well or what you consider your own and doing it.
Likewise, if you're a woman with a really high-powered career that makes a lot of money and you have a husband who does enjoy cooking and you've talked and he would rather stay home with the children, that is valid too.
Now to dig into that for a second, is you got to remember, as a woman or a man or however that situation is, you still have to come home and respect that person. Because a lot of people, especially, I'm going to say it like this, but especially women, they'll lose respect for a man over time, just like a man will lose respect over time.
Yeah, and I think
as a woman taking care of the house or as a man taking care of the house, and then that's when all that shenanigans and all that bullshit goes down.
No, and I think that is very important, is to appreciate your partner. You don't have to be in a traditional gender role, but both of you have to respect each other, and communication.
And I think that's why that's why I like about us. We know we disagree on things, but we're able to find that middle ground, and that's why I believe we talk more purple pill than a blue pill than a red pill. We are that purple pill. It's that middle ground of finding what works for both parties and how to respect both parties. And as what it is how you make a relationship work.
No, and I think the big thing is we're both committed to working on ourselves and not letting any biases we have limit us as people.
Yeah, all right. I got another one here. I didn't even read it yet. Women crave attention to lie to another, so their opinions are invalid. And the little quote thing, whatever the fucking reply thing they have. Average. Never take the opinions of another woman. They lie to each other. They literally tell a 5 they're a 10. Who are they trying to fool? But all they want is social validation to themselves, which I believe is true. Women will tear other women down. Just like Al Bundy has said. Let me finish this. Women understand women, and they hate each other.
I'm not going to say that is wrong necessarily, but men do the same thing. I think it's just for some reason we want to gender behavior.
I don't know, because I never ran into a man. I'm never ran into another man going, "Hey, bro, man, you a fucking 10." Like, no, bitch, you need to hit the gym.
Yeah, now I will admit that we
call each other out on what we're fucking following.
Well, not just that, but men are extremely negative. And I don't know if it's just because society has conditioned us to be this way, but even my healthiest male friendships, you're right. Like, half of it is shit talking.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that what it comes down to, I don't believe it's a societal thing. It's a reality thing, because men deal with more of the shit, and they deal with more of the high pressure situations, like I said, traditionally. So we have more of a negative outlook to life, or we have just in a way a thicker skin, and we don't take it seriously.
Well, it's kind of like
just like when I call you, like, you got the whole mustache, fucking Ron Jeremy hairdo going. Like, what are you, Ron Jew? Like, come on.
Not just that, we're the only people, and it's weird because men are very territorial like this. Like, you can make a joke about my mental health or me being a former alcoholic, and we will both laugh, and I 100% know you're saying it from a place of love, and just, we almost, because it's such a serious thing, we make fun of it to feel better about it. But let some stranger come in and start calling me crazy or whatever, and see what happens.
The gloves are coming off.
Yeah, exactly.
As a boxing room, we going rounds. Just like, you know what, I told my brother this. I told him if he comes up here next time he does, or I go down there, I want to fight him. And he looked at me. He's like, "Why would you want to fight me?" I was like, "Because I need to teach you a lesson." And that's the worst part. And that's the crazy part, though, is through us not just exchanging blows verbally, but sometimes like getting in that ring and really like and this is a personal belief. It's sometimes it's not the words, it's the actions that you take. Even though if those actions may be physical, you get it out of you. You learn from it, and especially I believe in like when it comes down to fighting. I'm just going to use boxing as an example, not for a competitive reason, but you guys have two different views, and pounding the shit out of each other might just be that leverage that you need to go, I understand where you're coming from, and it's that plantation of you being what you believe in, not just verbally.
I don't disagree with this. And it's funny because I don't know what it is. And I don't know if it's just men, but there is some primal part of all of us, no matter how evolved we are, that no, you just want to lay hands on each other for no reason. And it's not about winning or losing either. If you really like this person, you don't care.
And what it is, it comes to an understanding. Like, I'll give you an example. When I met my best friend, granted he's passed away now, the first time we met each other, we beat the shit out of each other.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was that preppy kid, I was that emo goth kid, and just from that, we wanted to kick each other's ass.
No.
And here's the best part. We tied.
Yeah.
We were laying on the ground like, you want to be friends?
Yeah. No,
yeah, I want to be friends.
When I was
best
younger.
friend I ever fucking had.
Same thing with me and one of my buddies. We literally, for like a summer, would just, every day, for no reason, meet in a field, beat the crap out of each other, then go get ices.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's where a lot of women can't just...
I've never heard a woman's story to start with.
Exactly.
Well, I met this bitch, and we clawed each other's eyes out, and then we're best friends.
Yeah, they hate each other. And I think that's a big thing of... And that's why I was telling my brother this. I was like, dude, I want to just fight you. Just because, like, boxing rings nowadays are a lot safer because it doesn't let you just go hog wild. Because they don't want getting people injured anymore. And especially for me, because I only have one kidney. So I'm going to wear the kidney protector. I can at least take a hit or two. But with him, I was like, dude, let's just go, because we have widely different views on things. And I honestly think it is a good way for us to come to an understanding about one another. Let's just go a few rounds and let our actions show our emotion. And I think that's a big thing I don't think a lot of people understand is men are more physical beings. That's why we have a lot more outrage, why we'll punch a fucking wall. And then after that, we're done, we're cool.
Yeah, I think this is a combination of a couple things because I don't disagree. And two, for some reason, society, it's okay if a guy gets angry. Like, nobody ever gets upset if a man is angry. At least back when I was a kid. But you show any other emotion, it's like, oh no, this is...
Oh, he's too emotional.
Yeah, exactly.
He's unstable. He's not healthy.
Yeah.
He's a little bitch. Why is he crying?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh.
Here's one. Ready for this one?
Oh, God.
This is a what the fuck. I have never really heard of this being an issue. And what it is, it's in New York. There's a dude in my 30s. I'm in my 30s. I don't have a car. And there's 3 women to the side. We don't care. Get the bus. In the United States, in my 30s, I don't have a car. The women, if you speak to us again, we will call the police.
I'm guessing this poster's from Europe because I get you guys have excellent public transportation because all your countries literally are the size of less than our states in most cases.
Yeah, exactly.
But in this country, we have terrible public transportation. You can't rely on it unless you're... I think New York is like our only famous place that has decent public transportation. Because here in Pennsylvania and in Pittsburgh...
if after 10 o'clock, you ain't getting home.
No, not just that, but they're not on time. I had to take public transportation for 6 months.
And here's the thing: when originally, I at least I can speak to Pittsburgh. When originally Pittsburgh was built, it was not built for buses. It was not built for bike lanes. It was Like, you know Penn Avenue?
Oh, God, yeah, no.
You know how they turned that was a one-way street? Originally, that was a two-way street. And they did it because of a bike lane. Yeah, let that one sink in. But yeah, no, our transportation over here is just absolutely atrocious. You need to have a car, but there's no reason for it. Just because a person doesn't own a vehicle or have a car does not mean you're calling the cops on them.
No, that's...
No, it gets put under of, this person is not stable or successful.
Yeah, we do think you're a bum if you don't have a car in America, though. That's unfortunately... It is what it is, and with the cost of cars rising the way they are, it's probably going to become more of a problem. And it is kind of sad here in America, because if you don't have a car, you really can't get a good job.
Yeah, exactly.
Because all the jobs along bus lines are like fast food and things of that nature. So you're pretty screwed.
Yeah, unless you live like literally in a city or a decently sized city. Yeah, you're going to be screwed. All right, here's one. You're going to love this, because me and you are not... We don't really care about Andrew Tate. We've only heard things about Andrew Tate. So, this is going to be right up our alley. You ready for this one?
Oh, God, already.
Quote, spends too much time hanging out with other Andrew Tate fanatics starter pack. And this little meme, watching too much porn warped my reality starter pack.
Oh, God.
It's natural for men to have sex in the butt, but women's assholes are shaped to welcome a penis. Number 2. If a woman has sex with other men, her babies will have all their DNAs combined. I know, there's some crack pipe shit in here. Number 3. Females don't grow body hair naturally. It's our modern world that messed up our hormones. Women been grown...
Yeah, oh my God.
Look at the French. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Number 4.
Oh, there's more.
Men are hunter and gatherers, so they need to work out all the time. Women only exercise intensely when they have sex.
They realize hunter-gatherer societies because the fact that they were gathering pine nuts and shit. Traditionally speaking...
Was that a woman thing?
Sometimes. It depends on the culture. But yeah, typically, if you have a tribe here, half of them are going to be gathering, half of them are going to be hunting. It's usually not a gender thing.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of studies on that one.
If you can shoot a bow, and you can shoot a bow good...
That's exactly...
You're a fucking hunter.
That's exactly it. Rectums are rectums, no matter what your gender are.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a penis-shaped rectum.
And I hate to tell men, but actually because of where a prostate is located, anal sex is usually more pleasurable for a man than it is for a woman.
That's because a woman doesn't... Again, this is how men don't have any... I think some men have no idea of anatomy. Anatomy.
Yeah.
And, yeah, men have a prostate. Women do not. There is pleasure given from the prostate because the bladder lines basically follow from the prostate to your testicles to your dick.
Yep. And they're all interconnected. Yeah. What was the there was more the body hair thing? Body hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're all monkeys, and yeah, we all have pubic hair, we all have armpit hair.
Yeah. Everyone gets it. Yeah, that's just God, I don't even know how to argue that because it's so dumb. It's so dumb it's redundant.
No, that's
all right, my favorite one. If a woman has sex with other men, her babies will have all their DNA.
Oh, God, yeah, I blocked that out because it was so stupid. That's not how reproduction works.
Rich, there's a roof if you want to jump off.
Yeah, I kind of do. Because, no, I would hope everyone knows this, but literally all mammals and most other species of things have a paired gamete system, which has half of the chromosomes in it. So sperm has 50% of the chromosomes. The egg has the other 50%. Whenever sperm finds that egg, you now have a whole pair of chromosomes that makes a little baby person.
Yes, and if I remember about chromosomes, there's a few different combinations. It's always XY, XX, YY, YX, or however the fucking works out. There's a bunch of different combinations. Sometimes, though, it gets crossed and they get confused, and that's when you end up with the, what is it called?
Intersex people. That can happen. Yeah, basically all of the pairs of chromosomes except the last one. If you're XY, you're a male. If you're XX, you're a female. And I forget what actually causes legitimate intersex, but there's a problem.
There's a problem with the chromosomes.
Yeah, and that's
sometimes they get confused.
Yeah, a legitimate thing, and we're not even gonna go into that because
that's a whole transsexual topic of I'm not a person in my own body, yada yada. Doctors made other bullshit.
Well, that's not even that. That's you're literally biologically speaking somewhere in between.
Or you're not getting cut off the fucking the thing and come out the what the hell is that thing called? the tube thing that you come out with that's attached to you. That you gotta snip.
In biblical cord?
Yeah, that thing.
Oh my god,
At that point, you gotta kind of figure that shit out, I think.
This is gonna be the one that...
At that point, you gotta make the call.
I am so sorry, everybody. We're definitely... it's gonna be a 1 beer minimum from now on. I hope you come back. We're trying.
I'm just saying, at that point, you gotta cut the cord.
Oh my god. Oh, not how boobs work. This is gonna be great.
Oh god, I can't wait to hear this.
All right. There's a lot of text, but how much does the quote servants holding Aphrodite's breast fantasy appeal to women or men in real life?
I need to stop you. What is that first part?
I think we're about to find out. Larger breasts, while alluring on a superficial level, are also notorious for being a burden to some women who have them, in some cases, to the point of back pain. It's not in some cases. If you had over a D, yeah, that's...
I had a neighbor when I was living in the city with my ex-wife. One of her neighbors, her breasts were so big, she actually had to go get a reduction.
Oh, yeah, sometimes.
Because her back was completely shot from them, and they were still fucking huge.
Yep.
And she went down like 4 cup sizes.
No, there's conditions. Okay, I guess this is the deal. Lately, there's a meme going around portraying a, quote, theoretically mutually beneficial solution. Having servant guys carry her breasts for her, as depicted in anime happening for the Greek goddess Aphrodite. In theory, this could be beneficial for both participants, as the guy who does this has an excuse to have his hand on her... Oh my god, this is...
Here, I thought you were about to read me something from one of the animes, High School DxD.
I'm not even... This is stupid. I'm sorry. Oh god. How do people think these are things?
I don't know, but apparently all these women are just bitching about... A lot of these people are bitching about is anatomy.
Yeah.
Like, alright, look. If you're a man... Actually learn the fucking anatomy. There's a website. It's called OMGYes. Go to it. Subscribe to it. Pay the fucking one-time fee. They have 3 seasons right now. I know this because I've listened to other quote-unquote not safe for work podcasts. And it is one of the biggest things. They interviewed, I think it was 10,000 women, ages from 18 to like 100.
Shout out to that one that's still banging at 100. That's impressive.
Fuck yeah, my shit's gonna be... I won't even have my shit left.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be dust.
Yeah. Here's a fun one. This one is funny. Weed is so fucking feminine and juvenile, I can't believe, quote, men smoke it. You want to sit there, giggling, kicking your feet, and eating little snacks? What the fuck?
Oh my god. Being the fact that I was a weed smoker at one point before
I guess being happy is feminine as fuck. Like, how dare you?
Yeah, are we supposed to be miserable assholes all day long? And
I
then
guess
you get pissed off
so.
at us for being miserable assholes? Is that how that works? God, no. I'm sorry. I smoked my weed back in my time. I don't smoke no more. And it was a great way to fucking pass time.
That's exactly. Sometimes you just want to be happy.
Yeah,
and I
it's
agree.
the most chillest fucking way.
If you're only happy when you're smoking weed, there's an issue.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes back to moderation in anything. You do you. Oh God, this guy's just against, giving head to women and reciprocating. That's...
What? No. See, to me, that's fair trade. I have always believed that in my heart of hearts. I'm sorry, if a woman gives you head, you give that woman head.
Yeah, that's kind of me. And
that's fair trade. As long as, look, and that also comes back to taking care and keeping your shit clean.
Yep. No, I agree with that, but it's just
as long as your shit's good and it's clean, go ahead, go and do it.
This dude's literally quoting imaginary health risks for him not reciprocating.
What is wrong with...
I don't know.
Why did you suggest this to me?
Why would you want to be in a relationship where you hate the other person? Is what
I'm telling you, we're gonna record a 3rd episode and it's gonna be about fucking anatomy, especially female anatomy.
Yeah,
people are fucking retarded.
I think we ought to get just some numbers like refractory period for men, so people can kind of understand what is normal. Because
we are not built like the sex god Zeus. I'm sorry.
No,
we are not Zeus. We'll never be Zeus, and just know. All right. Here's one. I haven't even read it yet, but we're gonna go with it. This was found on social media. Okay. Children whose mother is a working woman grow up in an orphanage-like environment. The AM sub never fails to give out such content. So this is quoted. Wide downvote. Children raised by mothers who stay home turn out to be a better, well-rounded individual who want to aspire to create a home, not an orphanage. I have friends with both parents working, and they are pretty fucked up, especially the girls. They don't get enough love support at the home. They then go on trusting outsiders, which can be really dangerous.
This comes back to how stable your parents are, period.
True.
If you have two loving, stable parents, even if you're a latchkey kid...
Let alone even if they are somewhat unstable, I think it's still a better environment.
Yes. I'm sure it's legitimately 100% valid if a woman wants to stay home with her children, or if a man wants to stay home with their children. People act like that's the silver bullet to everything. If that woman or that man's unstable, you're essentially now just spending your entire time around someone who is not equipped to handle your needs.
Oh, God, yeah. Grab your bullet journal real quick. One other thing I would like to really touch on is the being unstable in a household, but it's the you owe us parent.
Oh yeah, that's
the reason why you have what you have is because of that. That's something I definitely think we should definitely talk about.
That's a topic, yes, because I don't.
See, this is why we podcast.
Yeah. I know these last ones.
Welcome to our brainstorming sessions. This is what this is. It's a brainstorm for us to get more content. But here, I believe in the traditional family. I think it's better. I think overall it's better off as long as both parents are mostly stable. Everyone's going to have their quirks, and I didn't grow up in a stable household. I didn't. I always make the joke. I have three mothers. The one who gave me up for adoption, the one who gave me up for $10,000, and the one who is a very big biblical person who's never pushed her beliefs on me. But I was 6 years old by the time I met her, and by that time I was like, yo, you're Tony, you're my stepmom.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a fun way to put how your life went, and that comes with baggage and everything else. I'll tell you this: my mother homeschooled both me and my sister. It didn't change anything. If the home life isn't good and the parents aren't stable, this idea of having a nuclear family where the woman stays home doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and the worst part is that with the way the economy is, it forces both parents to work.
That's a huge thing.
And I'm lucky with what I got going on. I'm probably able to be able to do a traditional style family. Taz already told me she does want to work part-time once they go to school, which that's fine. I have no problem with her working. It's not the fact I want to be purely traditional, it's just economically it's not always feasible.
No.
But if one party or the other party is able to provide the income where the other person maybe has to work part-time, or if they're lucky enough not have to work at all, is ideal.
Well, I think this goes back to if you're in an emotionally healthy relationship and both of you are stable, then yeah, having the extra attention for the children can benefit you. But it seems like so many relationships are not necessarily healthy.
Okay. All right.
I kind of like this one.
All right, what you got?
Virginity is a social construct. And this guy replied back, not a social construct. You let a dude in you, or you put your thing in someone and chemicals attach you to them.
No.
Yeah, that's...
No, I'm sorry. Virginity is a thing, but they're partially right where it is not a social construct. It's a physical fucking thing.
Well, the hymen is one of those things that you can tear that doing sports, and a lot of girls do.
Or falling on a bicycle.
Seriously,
It's not a hard thing necessarily to break.
No.
It does not make you chemically attuned to another person.
Oh God, this bike busted my hymen. Now I love this bike, and he's my only man.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. God. I think that person, what they're confusing is the attraction they feel to that one particular person because they never experienced it before. Yes, and that's where that chemical reaction takes place.
Not just that during sex,
because everyone remembers
hormones and the bonding hormones. But we're even finding out that's not nearly as.
Here's the thing: you remember the first person you ever had sex with?
Oh yeah,
I remember the first person I ever had sex with. It's that moment that's always going to be ingrained to you. It's a first. It's that raw feeling.
Don't have your first time in the Bible Belt, y'all. It really messes you
My
up.
first time was not only the front, but at the back. 2 for 1 special.
That's impressive. No wonder you're a deviant. I really hope y'all are still enjoying this. We're trying, but I think we were a little too faded by this time.
Okay,
But...
all right. Look, I went to a different sub. This one's in the sub, How Girls Work.
Oh, this is... Okay. Hopefully there's actually some good information
Period
here.
question.
Oh, okay.
So something we probably have no fucking clue about. We have no right to talk about. So, all right, here it is.
Speed round.
All right. Hello, I am just curious if anyone can answer my question. If there's any other Reddit pages to help me as well. I was supposed to get my period on January 8th, and it still hasn't come yet. I've taken a pregnancy test, and it came back negative. I've also been getting cramps every now and then, but still haven't gotten it. Because maybe it has to do with stress or something. What should I do?
This is actually a legitimate question.
Yeah, it's legitimate.
The big thing I would ask is if she'd been getting her period regularly. She probably has been since she's been experiencing this. But there's a lot of different things that can cause this. Hormonal fluctuation, stress can. If she's
Stress
on
will
birth
make you
control,
have a period or multiple periods in a month.
Yeah, some birth control will extend the period to only actually shedding the uterine lining like every 3 months or something like that. I've heard there's a lot of different things.
It also makes you, depends on, again, like you're saying, it depends on what one you take, because some of them will make a period very light, disappear completely. Honestly, this is something I know for a fact. If you're going to go on birth control, do not get the Depo shot.
Nope.
That will, basically, it makes it either you incredibly hard to become pregnant, or you become infertile.
Yeah, because it delays the egg development or something.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Yeah, but that's all I know about it.
Yeah, no, it's just...
Do you have an... I'm looking through...
I don't really have anything else.
Yeah, we're at the 40-minute mark, so I think let's do a little wrap-up here for young men that might be watching, even though we're an explicit podcast. Learn your anatomy. Learn her anatomy.
Exactly.
If you're a woman, never be afraid to explore your own anatomy. Read up on it.
Even as a man, explore yourself.
Yep.
Be comfortable with you.
Yes.
Before you start getting involved with someone else. And my other thing, this is something me and Taz have always been working on, and it's something that will always be worked on, no matter who you are. Communication.
Yep. You should never be in a relationship where you're afraid to say something.
And don't be afraid to try something. I think that's pretty much good. There's probably more we could add to that list, but let's keep it kind of short.
This has been a roller coaster, but I really hope we've retained some people by the end of this. Thank you all for listening. We'll probably return to a more long-form thing for the next one. We'll see. But,
yeah, we
till
might
next time.
we got a third fun one for here.